Morning. Kind of trying something a little different here. I never used this thing before. It is it's 8:30 in the morning. A little bit. Don't know if anybody can hear me. It's 8:30 in the morning. And although there's traffic and a half-hour backup each way on the road to Beatty, I kind of think I'm going to do that today. And they say there's a good place for barbecue. And then there's this Rhyolite ghost town I might go look at. I got 4 hours of video left on this card in the action camera. Having a lot of trouble downloading from the action camera. So we'll see. La-di-ba-daddy. In truth, there are some long, straight sections within the park before you get to, I think, what's called the Beatty Cutoff, which is the road I was going to take. So I cut most of that out, and but you will get a chance to see that I cut out pretty much stuff like this. It's pretty, but you don't need to see 20 minutes of it. So I cut back to just a little bit until we get to the Beatty Cutoff. Starting about here where you're seeing the road cones, there are sections of the road that don't really exist. It's just a big gravel section. And it looked to me to be pretty much just a sea of loose pea gravel in a cavity in the road that might go on for 50 or 60 feet. And someone else told me, no, that's been hard packed. You can ride on it if you want, but everybody else has a GS. So in any case, I rode around them, and there were quite a few in this section. This is the area that had been single tracked or made one way during the week, and I was fortunate that I did it on the weekend in that the construction crews were not here, so I didn't have to wait a half an hour in each direction to be taken through with a pilot car. Sometimes it may seem that I'm riding in too low a gear, and so I'm turning a lot of RPMs, but I never have minded on the RS. I think I hit the rev limiter sometimes. I don't know. And I've got the shift light is set up at the red line, so I don't really notice the shift light. So anyway. I love the bike, and it's very dynamic, and but if we keep the RPMs up, man, it's like a land rocket. It may seem an awkward gesture, but what I've just done is turn on the heated grips and heated seat to the last recalled from memory the last settings that I used, which for me is 2 and 2, because it's not easy to see in the video, but I'm climbing up over a pass, and it has gotten chilly, and I don't remember if I had a layer under my jacket or not. You'll also notice that my right hand, I'm actually holding on to the grip. That's because the two fingers that I usually keep over the front brake have gotten cold, in spite of my new hand guards, wind guards, which do help a lot. some motorcycles coming up, so I'm gonna take my left hand off and kind of do the wave. Now, their lights appear to be blinking. That's just an artifact of the camera. But they probably would have known that I'm on a BMW just because I've got my clear water lights out and their yellow covers on them, which seems to be a hallmark. I think it gives me great visibility. I don't run them on very high intensity in low beam, but on high beam, man, they're freaking bright, I'll tell you. Beginning to come into Beatty, Nevada, and one of the things I noticed was a nice sign just up ahead. Maybe I'll pinpoint it or not. It's like the sheriff and the detention center and the court are all down, you know, off to the right, off this one little road. I was thinking as I rode by it, I was thinking like, oh, I don't need to go down there, you know. So they had a pretty strict speed limit sign posted, and I was just thinking, yeah, you know, that's probably where they take people so they can pay their fines so they can get out of town. So they had a little museum and that sort of thing, but it was a pretty sleepy place when I came in. I had expected it to be a little bit more maybe dynamic, a little more active tourism stuff, but somehow or other I think my timing was off. It's like I was an hour earlier than I thought I ought to be. I'm not even sure what exactly happened. I did obviously find the barbecue place, which is just right there, and later on I did have barbecue there. And I'm going to show some pictures of Rhyolite as well, which I did ride over to go see. So in a moment I'm going to take you to a couple of still shots I took at Rhyolite, which is quote-unquote ghost town, old mining town. I did have a couple of observations, and one of them was that you know, there are buildings just like what you will see in Rhyolite. They're ruined now, but you will find them in places like Gilroy and Hollister and things like that. You know, towns that are of the same age, but never passed out of existence. So we look at these places now and they look especially bleak and empty. But it's kind of interesting that situations could have been different, and this would have just been a town that people might have stopped in.